just press one button to broadcast. So this thing's done.
What does it look like then? Okay, far, how far? Yeah, go to 12 and see if there's a class, and let me know. You have a sheet of paper. What?
Are we signing?
Yeah. We're not gonna have. So this is what I want you to put in the first one. I'm putting the first column, put name. The first column, put name. Okay, and then leave some room and then put email. Phone. And major. And then just make one column that just says, just do WSYYM for work study, yes, no.
Oh, so work stuff.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna have to put Victor.
So what do you have there? That's the title.
Name, major, email, phone, work study.
Okay, okay. And then put yourself as number one.
You want us to number them?
Mm-hmm. So you can make yourself number one. Make Alex number two. And then on the top, put BTE, on the very top BTE, and we're 210 and we're KX, right? There is, okay. Thanks. You can go, we can just start on Wednesday. Okay, perfect, so thank you. So can you do me a favor, just check here, make sure that. Yeah, broadcasting.
Yeah.
Okay, did you do it? And then you think yourself.
Yeah, it works.
We're ready? Yeah, great, and then you can check. Just, if it doesn't, if it goes off, just let me know, okay? What is your name? Ashley, do me a favor, if it goes off, just raise your hand. Okay? Thank you so much. Ready? Okay, folks. We have a full class, it looks like. This is BTE 210, and this is a class that you'll see. How many people is it required for? Right, almost everybody, right? So you have a choice here. There's other sections that are available. So today is a good day to decide whether you want to remain in this section or not. How many people have classes on Wednesday night? How many do not? Okay. My Wednesday night is less crowded, so if you want to switch from this class to my Wednesday night, let me know at the end of the class, and we'll talk about it. Because one of the things we're going to be doing in here is we're going to be doing a lot of projects, so the smaller the class, the better, so in terms of attention. So those of you that can make Wednesday night instead of Monday night, stay with me, and then I'll move you over, and we'll have the same assignment. Okay? But stay here for tonight because you know last Monday there wasn't class, so they're basically going to go over this class. Okay, so I'm Dr. Sarah Rushanek, and what I'll be doing today is I'll be talking about the class. We're going to be talking about its information systems. And basically what we're going to be trying to talk about is technology in business. And the way we do business today, if you look at the class, I'm passing around the roll, be able to put in your information and number it. And later on we'll introduce ourselves and we'll see what are your backgrounds here. So this is technology in business, and when we think about technology in business, we're working especially different today than any other time in the world. I just came back from the Consumer Electronics Show. Anybody hear about that in Las Vegas? I was a week out there speaking with a number of companies, and everything now is sensors, everything now is technology, from retail to health to wearables to a smart kitchen to a smart bed to a smart toilet to a smart asphalt. Everything is basically via technology and data analytics. So what we're going to be doing in this class is trying out a lot of the new technologies. And anybody know what a slacker is? Anybody ever heard of that, being a slacker? What is your name? Cam.
Someone that doesn't work hard.
Somebody that, and if you're a slacker or like to be a slacker, this is not the section for you. Because what we're going to be doing, and you know how in some classes you can just read the book, just take the exams, and then, hey, I don't have to come to class, I don't have to do much. My section isn't one of those. But if you want to learn about new technologies and get your hands dirty, this is the section for you. So I'm just telling you beforehand, I won't be insulted if I don't see you next week. If I see you on the beach or something, I'll definitely be friendly. But one of the things here is that we'll be trying out a number of different technologies. And what you'll be seeing here is ways in which to do what? Collaborate. So when you think about collaboration, we can collaborate. Who's ever been working in teams? Right? We all have to work in teams. And one of the things in teams is you can meet physically in teams, but how else can you meet? You have to physically be together to work together. What is your name?
Faith.
Faith. How else can you work?
We can all like Skype in or.
You can use other technologies to Skype to collaborate. So one of the things that we'll be doing is collaboration via some of those tools. Along with Skype, there's other availability, other programs that you can collaborate. And one of the things that you want to be able to do is not only collaboration, but you want to be able to document what you're doing. And in terms of documenting, we'll be using tools to document. You can take basically, as you can see here, you can take your laptops and then write down what we've done, but we also can do recordings. So what I'm doing is, I'm a professor of business technology and also health informatics, and my research has always been looking at ways to use technology to make better decisions. And for businesses, it's to do two things. Either to increase my revenues or do what? Decrease my costs. And basically what I do is I try to see how we use technology for it. And one of the things that you'll see is it always doesn't work. So the way that you're going to think about it is not to get too depressed about it, but to try to find out ways for people to help you. So I'm going to be doing that in terms of documentation and collaboration. And along with it, it's the idea of creating your own brand, basically documenting what you do. So I'm trying a number of different research on my own, and I'm having you join me in my road to trying out the different research on it. So you'll see for instance, two cell phones here. You see that? I'm broadcasting this class. So I'm trying to broadcast this class, and notice that they're towards me in terms of recording myself. What's the purpose of that? Why try it out? Any ideas, any advantages, disadvantages you think to that? Broadcasting, yes. What is your name?
Ben.
Ben.
Self-critique.
Self-critique. So first of all, I can see self-critique. I've noticed, for instance, I can critique. One of the things is you spend your evenings with me. I should be able to give you the most for those evenings. So that's a great idea. So I can self-critique. I can maybe see that, I touch my face too much, or have you seen yourself all the time that you can do those things. I hear my voice. It sounds a lot of times screechy, right? So maybe I should be, one time I teach physicians too, so one of the physicians, I always got a sore throat. They say, you know what? You don't breathe correctly. I have to breathe more towards my diaphragm than through my throat, or things like that. That's good. Self-critique. What else for these classes? Any other ideas? What's an advantage? For broadcasting. What is your name?
Brittany?
Brittany, what do you think? Any other ideas that this class is being broadcast? So what does that mean, that it's being broadcast? Let me go back to Ben. Ben, what does that mean that it's being broadcasted? I'm broadcasting now. It says what there? It says what? It says live? It says live.
I'm broadcasting this right now.
I'm broadcasting this right now live. So what does that mean?
It means more people are looking at it than just us in the class.
It can be, or even it can be live, that I can be live on YouTube,
Yeah.
right? Or live on YouTube, where if you weren't able to make it to the class, you could be viewing it on time. If we wanted to have guest speakers from around the world, could we do is we could bring them into the class, and those others maybe could join the class that wanted to join it. So broadcasting live, either we can make it private, where I could give you, for instance, just a certain password to get into it, and for some times, or we can make it throughout the world that anybody could do it anonymously, or we can make it restricted that you need to have a username and a password to get in, something like Blackboard. So that's one that you could then participate. I'm also been archiving that. So what does it mean, archiving? Who can tell me what archiving means?
You're storing
Yes.
them.
What?
You're storing them.
I'm storing them, and what's the purpose of storing them?
To reference them. later.
Reference them later on. And then what I'm thinking about doing is each then maybe lecture, or each part of the lecture, what I'm thinking to do is add quiz questions to it. So instead of at the end when there's a test, instead of listening, who wants to listen to 40 hours of lecture again? It was boring enough sitting here for the first 40. I don't want to sit through the second 40, but taking quizzes, and only those questions that I get wrong, give me those clips of what I got incorrect. So I'm trying those types of things as well. So I'm trying different methods here, and I'll have you try it as well. And what I'm trying to do also is I'm looking for a collaboration tool that also will be recording. So what I'll go to is I'll go to YouTube, right? And when I go to YouTube, if I can see it, you see here where it says Creator Studio?
It's not on.
Oh, I'm talking to myself. You need to give me feedback, right? Because I can talk and I can entertain myself quite nicely. Okay, so let me see if you can see this. Let's see. Let's see if you can see. You always have issues, right? If not, I can use the other computer so we can get this to work. Let's see. Is it working?
No.
No. One of the things that we also learn in this class is when there's issues, we want to always document those issues. Are we getting it? So one of the things here, so Alex, what I'm going to have you do, can you get up and go to the phone. One of the things is, if we get stuck, what do we need to do? We need to call help, right? So go to the phone and ask, press the second button from the bottom. What is it? Yeah?
JNICCO.
No, the next
Oh,
one. Yeah,
internet.
yeah, internet.
Press it.
Press it and listen, see if somebody answers the phone, right? And tell them that in 212 we can't get the laptop to work.
In 217, we can't get the laptop to work. Oh, 317 in Julie.
Can he come and help us, please?
317. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you, see? And that's what we'll be doing, is it will raise help. We're supposed to get help. And what we'll see is sometimes our help doesn't help us. And one of the things, why am I telling you this? Because guess what? Do you think this type of things are going to happen to us? That we're going to have to reach out, we're going to have to document what we have. So one of the things that I'll do is I'll try to use this computer. Let's see if I can do this. And while he comes here, is we can try to see this computer. And if I have this computer, I'm going to go to my Gmail. You see here I have my password. Let me just see if this is going to work. Let's see. And it tells me hi. That's not too bad, right? It's giving me all my... And notice here, what does it first say here? My first email, by the way.
YouTube.
A Rush live now, right? So one of these is already, it's giving me, I'm subscribing to my own channel, so it's giving me, I'm live, right? So let me just do this. Let me go to YouTube here. Let's see if it'll work here. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to Creator Studio. I'm going to switch accounts. I'm going to switch my account. Why is it telling me this? Sign in. Here. Signed out. Problem is it saying signed in. Hi. I'm not able to get this to display. Can you get that to display? Thank you.
Sometimes these don't work.
Oh, great.
These are old. I might.
Did you hear that? Sometimes these don't work, right? I'm just talking to the class. What is your name?
Liliana.
Liliana. Thank you so much for helping us, Liliana. So see here.
It's old equipment.
It's old equipment, right? We should get it updated, right? Okay, so
Yeah,
try
I was just
again.
seeing if I could bring another cord for you. Because these are old. Let's try.
Well, let's try it again. Try to put it in again. Let's see. Okay, and let's even try from here. I'm having here, you see this? I have, you see where it says live streaming? Now let's see if we can see it. Do I need to put laptop for you?
Yeah, let's try it.
Try it again.
What happens when it switches?
It worked last week.
Yeah. And this with the same cord?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't know either?
Yeah, I was gonna try it with another.
No, you're not gonna work. With another one. Okay, so we're not able to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you put a note there that
Yeah.
they can look at the cord and make it documentation? Let
Yeah,
them
are
know.
you sure you don't want to try another?
If
I
you
can
have
bring-
another one, yeah, try it, come back. We'll be happy to host you.
Okay.
What?
She's on our video.
Right, okay. Time, okay, good.
Okay.
All right, so it's good that we're marking up, we're documenting, right? What are we saying? That we're documenting a problem. So I'm going to try this one, okay? So we have here, and what do I have here? It says I have events, that I've set this up, and this is through YouTube. And if I go down to the end, anybody see today's event? 122, is that it?
Yep, that's.
And now it says Start Hangouts on Air. Anybody hear of that program? Put it in your notes then. This program is called, what I'm going to be using is called Hangouts on Air. And it's very similar to how I'm broadcasting on my phones. The only difference here is these phones are capturing what? Those people that can see, what is it capturing? It's capturing here, right, the lecture. This will capture not only myself, but also will capture my screen. So everything I do on my screen, it will capture. So when a lot of times I'm going to be showing you software, sometimes I'm going to show you from different parts. That Hangouts on Air is there. So what do you think I need to do? Faith, what do you think I need to do to start Hangouts on Air?
Click Start Hangouts.
Wow, what a class, and I was worried, okay? So I have here Start Hangouts on Air, and then you see my little picture there. And then I can do two ways. In this case, I want to screen share, so Faith, what do you think I should do?
Click the
Screen share, right? And it says here, what does it say here, right on the bottom?
Start Broadcast.
Start broadcast. So this is going to broadcast, and this way it says okay, and I want to do a screen share. And what does it say here, Faith? You're on a roll.
That's your entire screen.
My entire screen, and I want to share it. And notice here it says you here, and I could bring, you can put a note here, I can bring them up to, I can bring up to 10 people onto my screen. So it's like collaboration tool. So around the country, anybody hear of blockchain, Bitcoin, cyber, currency, cryptocurrency? For instance, I want to have guest speakers come in for that. So some of these people could be, for instance, all over the world. We can bring them in from all over the world. So in this case, it says here, it says a YouTube page. And what do you think that link is for? What? It's the screen share video. So I can incorporate, you see how it works? So basically, anybody hear the term eat your own dog food? Basically, companies that are trying new technologies, one of the things is they say, this is great technology, and you ask them, have you used it for yourself in your own business? No. Well, then what they want to say is you want to eat your own dog food before you give it out to others. So I'm eating my own dog food, and you'll be eating dog food too, right? So you'll be trying it out as well. So in this case, what I want to do is this link here, I can copy this link. Remind me here, I'm going to copy that link, and now I'm broadcasting, but the difference is I'm broadcasting how? I'm sharing my screen. Sometimes sharing the screen also is called screencasting programs. And you'll be doing that as well. So, I'm starting my screencast. I have my Blackboard. And now I have a number of sections. And those of you that have laptops, who does not have laptops here with them? Anyone? Okay, one of the things is if you don't have a laptop, then share with another person here. One of the things that I'll be having in the class is we meet for a longer period of time, right? The whole evening. So a lot of times what we'll be doing is we'll be breaking down the class into working on different software programs, trying out different software as we can, because what's the problem? A lot of times you can fall asleep very easily, and you can drift away sitting. So the more active you are, the better I am as well. So if you go to Blackboard, and everybody go to Blackboard now. Everybody there? You have two, you should have one. One says BTE, what does it say? 210 what? KX? So click on that. You have something else that says audit. We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later. So we'll go to BTE KX, and under BTE KX you have a course syllabus and you have course documents, and then you have assignments. You don't have anything in assignments. Let me do course documents here. You know what I want to do? Let me do this. I'm going to build a content. I'm going to go to content folder, and I'm going to put class recordings. I'll just say class podcast. We'll call it podcast, okay? And then submit. And then if I go into this, right, I want to do a web link. And what's today's date? What's today's date?
22nd.
Yeah, so it's Monday. No, it's Monday, right? Yeah. It's Monday. How time flies. January, right, 22nd, 2018. And then we'll call it, and then I'll put a link. All right? And then I'll put a link here. Right? And then I'll say class, I'll say Hangouts on Air. Hangouts on Air broadcast. And I'm going to say submit. This one. There's always issues, right? Okay. And then Hangouts on Air broadcast, and somebody click on that. Go to that and see what you see. Okay, and it basically is, does the volume work? Can you hear anything? What did she forget to tell me? I need to put on my mic. So that's one of the things here, right, that we always want to check ourselves. So one of the things that you'll be required to do is to check me and make sure that when you're going to see Dr. Rushinik, you have your mic on, right, and to see it. So you'll be able to see my classes, to be able to see.
So where do we find those, though? No, is that the same thing, though?
Well, that'll be further, yes.
What does WS mean?
Oh, WS means if you have work study. Yes or no? If you get work study. If you don't know what, it's like financial, like, who has work study? Anyone? So we'll bring it around and you can put then here if you have work study. Because what I'm going to be doing too is I'm going to be looking for people to help me with this. So one of the things here is if you're interested in this, stay with me and you can help me with a lot of these projects. Even when there are issues here, I'll teach you on it, things to do, but to make sure even things like that, that you have their mic on or things working properly, that you can see it. Okay, so we got that part. So we have, we see here that we want to check with the mic. We want to make sure that the mic is working, and we see the and now we see that it's working, and we'll see later on if we can hear the sound here, okay? And she was supposed to come with remember she was supposed to come here to help us with the cable?
She's right there.
Great. What timing? See, so now you can turn it off, right? So now we know we have the mic, no? So we know that there's a lag, so if you want to break it up. And those of you that miss me can listen to me later on. Yes. Yes, please. You can turn it off, folks. Do you understand? Ben, why I needed feedback, I hear my screechy voice, can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's enough to hear me once, you don't need me in stereo. So this is our team from tech support that are coming to try to help us here. It worked last time, you remember?
Last week.
Yeah, no, on Wednesday, right? I was here with the same meeting. Okay, as you're going through this, I can continue?
Yeah.
While you're going through it. So many having. Okay, as they're continuing, we can look at this. So now what I'd like you to do is open up, you have this going around. So now you know that I'm broadcasting from here and I'm broadcasting there. And a lot of times, guess what? Does it always work? No. And notice that you can think about it, I'm doing it as experimental, and we'll see different types of programs. So one of the things that you can write down now in your notes here is what I'd like you to do is to find collaboration programs as well. Those that broadcast, those that you can work together in teams, that you can do it as well. And what we're doing at the end of the classes, we'll be breaking up into teams, and one of our first assignments, we'll be trying out some of the software together. So you'll be trying it out. We'll be kind of ending class a little bit earlier. We'll be working together in trying to find some of these software programs that we can try out. I'm trying to do Hangouts on air, and you can see here we're able to do this. Pardon?
No, I was wondering what was blinking.
Oh, yeah, a lot of things are blinking. My heart is blinking too. Okay?
You just had the resolution set too high.
Too high? Okay. So, great.
So you just go into
So
settings
let's
and
see if we
settings
can we go back?
to 12. Is that what it should always be on?
No, whatever works.
Okay. So can we do the same thing?
Was that?
Okay, so we got it. So basically he's telling me my resolution was too high on this laptop, so I could try this out as well. Okay. So I have my Hangouts on air, and then I can put it on this program as well. Thank you so much. And you want to introduce yourself to the class?
Classroom management.
Classroom management, we got the team here, and I love it that you found someone else in terms that you could bring someone else with you to see what it is, and she brought an extra
I
cord
didn't get
here.
your email. Did the DVD recording work?
No, the DVD recording didn't work.
You didn't send an email.
Yeah, and then the problem is there's somebody in 212 now.
Okay.
So
I
that's
think
what.
your capacity is a problem here.
Yeah,
That's why
so,
they-
but I'm just saying, so that was the issue. We have issues every week, but we're trying, I appreciate you trying to help us resolve it. And thank you very much again. Okay, so we got that part. Everybody with me? So we started recording. Let me do this. I have one class podcast here. Let's do another one. So you know what I'm going to do, since we're going to start, I'm going to take this, see this one? And I'm just going to copy this. Let's see here. This is 117 Wednesday. This was 117 Wednesday means it wasn't today, right? It was my older one, right? So it was basically, it was my other class. I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to go to, I'm in Hangouts. Basically, I'm in YouTube. It used to be called Hangouts on Air. Now it's part of YouTube of what? Live streaming? Let's see if this will work. Everything is issues here. Live streaming, you see events? Okay, you see events. And now let me do this. You see how this says what? Today, what does it say? Live now? Everybody see that? Live now? And Google Hangouts on there. You know, this is more comfortable. So let's see here. I could even do a new live event. and create even 2 streams, one from this and one from the other one. I can do it. And what's today's date? It's Monday. And what I want to do is I want to automate all this. Anybody know what a bot is? B-O-T? It's like a bot. It's a software bot. We're going to be doing some of those. And basically, tasks that you do all the time, you can create basically a bot to do them. So I shouldn't have to do this. Does the system know what date it is? It sure does, right? The system knows what date it is. It knows what time it is. I could do that now, right? And let me make this, what's the time now?
6:57.
6:57. And it says today now, and I want to go live. Let's see if it'll go. And then it says, you're ready to go. I say, okay. And let's see if it comes up, right? And it says, like, it's giving me percentages, right? It's flashing that lovely picture of 20%. And what is this? Basically, it says how many viewers I have. Notice, Ben, not too many viewers now, right? It says how many? 0. So those of you that want to have to share with your parents, right? Some of you may not want to, right? They could even see the class, right? Or other people. Just kidding, folks. Okay. And anyways, here, so you can start the broadcast. What do I want to do? I want to start the broadcast. So I could say start. I could say okay, right? And starting here, and then I could screen share. Okay, you want to pass it around. Whose work study that didn't mark this as work study? Everybody? Everybody sign up? What do I have? I have 30. Anyone not sign up? Good. I have 30. I'm going to do what, Faith?
You're going to click share.
Look at that. I'm going to click share. Right, I'm ready to go. I'm live. And I'm sharing my screen. And I have, even in this case, I have a URL that I'm able to, I could post that URL for my one that I have here. This is upcoming, right? And then I could say live now. And then I could see that I have 2 live now, right? One at 6:30, which is this screen. And then I have another one here, resume, hangout on air, right? Live now, it says live now. And I can see this one. And then I have this one as well, and it says resume, hangouts on air.
There's a live chat in there.
Yeah, and then there's a live chat. I can do a chat on it. I can do a number of different ways. We can even have ways in which we can do Twitter, right? We can have different people coming and making comments. So why is that good? Basically, in terms of your businesses, to promote businesses, think about it. If you have certain products, you want to do education. Basically, the way the education is done here, if you look at it, education is going to be disruptive. Finance is going to be disruptive, right? Everything, I mean, how many times you think about taxis? You feel sorry for taxi drivers, right? They're not going to be, everything's going to be existing. Autonomous cars, right? That later on, truck drivers. Everything's going to be disruptive, and education should be disruptive as well, right? Why should you physically have to be here all the time, right? You can be in other places and work together, and that's what I'm going to be showing you as well. So we'll go to where we went before, where I said is what? I go back to course documents, I go back to syllabus, and I have to move to my PC, right? And if I went back to my syllabus here, let's open up the syllabus. Everybody got the syllabus? And let's do it together and just see if this is what we want to do. Okay, so this is enable editing, and these are the types of things that you'll see in the course syllabus. You'll see my name, my office, and then you'll see my office hours. I teach this course Monday and Wednesday evenings, the same time. We're only going to be meeting once a week, and we're going to be doing projects, so many times what's important is that you have questions to do. A lot of times what's the easiest thing is after class. Because once we're fighting with something, why not talk to me after class? So what I'll do is every Monday and Wednesday after the class in here, I'll be meeting with you. So if you have questions and so forth. If you have other questions, you can send me an email, put the course and your section in the subject line, and we can arrange another time to meet. But many times it's just easy, and if it's not on Monday, you can say, hey, in the same place I can meet on Wednesday, and I can come in with my laptop or something like that, or what we have issues together. And when you think about it, we can eat our own dog food and do it, virtually, right? We can do a collaboration where we can do it virtually. So we can do a number of different ways to do it. That's why I'm trying to show you what we have to do. So you can see here, Monday and Wednesdays you can see, or by appointment, the best way to get with me. And then we have a book that we're using for this course. And let me look at this. And that book, let's see here. We'll be able to use. So let me see if I can get into this one as well. And we'll be able to use the course syllabus. So let me go on to this one. I'm on my PC. Let me go to my laptop here. I'm going to log in. This is my login, and let's see if it lets me in here. It sure does. I have my BTE. I'm going to go to KX, right? I go to my KX. I go to my course syllabus. And I'm going to open up my course syllabus here as well. And I'm going to do this. This is called Vital Source. And I'm going to sign in. Now look at this. When you sign in, when you get my computer, it says my email and what is my password. We'll talk about security as well, because if this was really valuable, and somebody I left the room, right, they could get into this. But it's not valuable, so you don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to look for then my bookshelf. Let's see here. And my bookshelf comes up with Introduction to Information Systems. Okay. And this is the textbook that we're going to be using. And mainly we'll be using this for the exams, and we'll be using it to have the foundations. How many people can read in here? Quite a few of you. So one of the things here is what I require. Remember how I was talking about slackers and things like that? I expect you to know how to read, and when we give assignments, I expect you to do the reading. I don't want to spend my time with you and your time. I'm viewing it as precious. You can be doing other things. So what I want to do is I want to share with you things that you're having problems with, things that I think are important, techniques that I want to share with you, new technologies. So everyday readings you can do on your own. And throughout the course, then what I'm expecting from you is when something's that you don't understand or you're finding inconsistencies, is that you take the initiative and bring it up in class or jot it down. So I don't need to spend our precious time going over step by step every page in the book. Or you know how you have the PowerPoints? I don't need to go through every PowerPoint with you. You'll have the PowerPoints available to you, and what my job is, I think, is to lead you into discussion and lead you to what I think is important, because there's so much jargon out there, what's going to be important or not. Everybody with me? But in terms of, this is how I use my classes, let's be mature here, and I'm expecting you to do the readings, and if you don't do the readings, maybe some other instructor will go through all the readings with you step by step. Do you like a class like that? Guess what, Ben? Ain't for you here, right? But I'm not, so what we'll see here is you'll see the book here, and you'll see the table of contents, right? Introduction, and you'll see the copyright. Let's see what the copyright says. The copyright, right? copyright, they say, is 2018, right? And they said it was October 2017. And guess what? You think this is up to date? Even with that, everything's different, right? In December, anybody see what Bitcoin was doing in December? Anybody, what was it?
I think it got up to like 19,000.
19,000. What's it now?
11,500.
Huh?
Around 11,500.
You know exactly the number, right? 11,000. So from 18,000 to 11,000, if we talked about it, right? There's volatility there. How do you know that? Are you paying attention to it, or you just looked it up now?
No, I like pay attention to it.
Oh, okay, paying attention to it. So one of the things is you can see how much it then fluctuates. So things are fluctuating. So we'll be doing a lot of things other than just the textbook. Because a type like this, if we're talking about, a history book or something like that, or basics of something, we need that, but we don't need to have it as well. So you can see here, that's the book that we'll be using. So if you look at the course syllabus, if when we looked at the course syllabus, you'll see that along with, let me enable editing here. You'll see that we've done here in the book, you'll see here then the course description. So we'll be talking about a number of course objectives, but what will be unique here is we're going to try to have it come to life. So we're going to be talking about hardware and software and application development. We'll be talking about what they call the cloud. What's the cloud? Who can tell me? Anybody hear about the cloud? Cloud computing? What is your name?
George.
George. Have you heard about cloud computing?
I'm
Not much. Who's heard about, what do you think the cloud is? What? It saves your stuff. So what is the cloud? What's the difference between cloud computing and your laptop that you have in front of you?
It's like cyberspace.
It's basically what the cloud computing, you put in your notes here, but basically when you save, you can save information on your own laptop, right? Or you can save it somewhere else. You can save it on another computer that you have basically what they say on the cloud, but it's basically where? It's another hardware that resides somewhere else, and you can gain access via what? Via browser, right? When you get on the internet, when you get on the browser, that's how you can gain access to it. And think about all your applications. Who's used email before, right? All your information on email, does it reside on your laptop? Where does it reside? It resides on another computer, right? If you have, who has ever had Gmail? If you have Gmail, Google has that, right? If you have Outlook, Microsoft has that. So everything that you're able to do. If you're ever on Facebook, anybody ever been on Facebook? Anybody ever been on Twitter? All of that is what? All of that is stored where? What they call the cloud. So that's like the difference here in cloud computing, and we'll be talking about these cloud platforms versus mobile platforms versus web platforms. Now, along with this, you can see here we'll be also talking about doing projects, and we'll be doing projects, collaboration projects, we'll be doing mobile application projects, we'll be talking about data analytics, we'll be doing predictive analysis, and we'll be looking at some predictive techniques as well. How many finance majors do I have here? Quite a few, right? We'll be doing finance now. When I think about fintech, what's fintech? Anybody hear that term? It's basically being disruptive in finance, right? And that's basically, what are they doing now is they have robots or they have bots doing what they call artificial intelligence, or machine learning to do recommendations where, for instance, equities are going or forecasting. They do it for wealth management. Anybody want to do wealth management? When they think about wealth management, a lot of times they have what they call robo-advisors. What is that? Basically, the machines are being able to advise you on what to invest. We'll be looking at that as well. So we'll be looking at some advising techniques here. So you'll see this. We talk about Blackboard, the website, course policies. Here in terms of what I'll be asking you is to bring your laptops, and you'll be actively working on the laptops. If we're not sure about terms, you'll be looking up the terms, right? To see in terms of the terms, attendance and participation. You'll see here that participation is going to be important in this class, and not only participation on what issues you had that worked, but what issues you had that didn't work. And we'll be able to help each other in terms of this, just like we had this problem here where I wasn't able to project here. There'll be peer review among yourself, exams. You can read this, and remember, I know that you can read, so I'm going to give you a reading, and this is the assignments. We're going to have 2 exams. First exam and second exam will be when finals are attached. The exams usually I'll divide it up on the readings plus what we've gone in class. It'll usually be 2 parts, one covering the book, the other part will be open-ended questions covering some of the issues that we discuss in class or dealing with the project. So for instance, we were talking about cloud computing. We'll have like a cloud computing, or we'll have analytics exercises. So maybe one of the open-ended will be about analytics or, predictive analytics or something like that. So it'll be 2 parts. There'll be group projects, and we'll start tonight. So one of the things that I want to do is, rather than giving you, because we're going to have issues. So things don't get resolved immediately, and even by the end of the semester, they won't be getting resolved. So we know we're going to be on Alpha 1, Beta, or so forth. We'll do group. I'll give you assignments, and we'll have class participation. And then you'll have what I call a tentative class schedule. Because the tentative class schedule, you'll see here, I have it exam 1, February 19th through the 24th. That may be changing, and I'll let you know at least a week ahead. We'll do a review the week before, we'll do the exam, and we'll decide together when the exam. So maybe even in terms of this, we may move the exam, a week later or so, just so we have it. What I want to do too is I'll have also guest speakers. Guest speakers on security, guest speakers, let's say on blockchain, guest speakers maybe in terms of fintech, finance. We'll decide together as a group. You can come up with suggestions, and I'll come up with some suggestions. A number of people in terms of security, the head of security here at the university wants to come and talk to us. We can do it, but before anyone comes, what I'd like to do is I'd like us to be prepared so we can ask intelligent questions, and we may even have a number of different people showing us new software. So for instance, I have someone I've invited. When did they invite them? When did I say the exam was? What week? Okay, the 19th. I may even delay this exam. Put in your notes there. I may delay the exam one more week, because this week I invited someone to come. He's doing a new startup for blockchain technologies, and he's creating a startup for non-programmers to use this system. And I thought it was very interesting. And then I invited someone else that's doing some patent security too, so that will probably delay then that exam. Okay, so you can see that it's jam-packed. Really, when you think about it, almost every of these weeks we can do it, and then based on, a lot of times based on your own background, we can make the projects geared towards your own strengths as well. Okay? Questions? So that's basically the course. The course will start off with, basically I'll go over what we have. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to get access to the book. What I suggest, I'm very cheap. You'll notice that afterwards. I like bargains. I just get so excited over bargains, and I like things free. But get the book, get it the cheapest way that you can get the book. You know what I'm saying? If it's online or so forth, but you need to get it. And what I do, again, in terms of collaboration, is, let me go back to Blackboard here, is go to assignments. And how many assignments do you have? What do you have under assignments? Does your assignment? Nothing. So what does mine say here? It says availability. What does it say right here, Allie?
Item is not available.
Item in, so what do I have to do? What's my job?
To make it available.
Make it available, right? So one of the things you want to do it. So look how I make it available. So if I see it here and you don't, one of the things that we think about security and information systems is we talk about something called the need to know. That's a rule. That means if I'm setting up any security in an information system, I have to create what I call a need to know. Meaning I have to give the people that need to know something, I have to give them access to it. And those that don't, I don't give them access. So I have a different role than you do. My role is as an instructor, your role is student, right? It's whether you learn or not is another thing, but that's your role in terms of it. So I'm going to go to this. Everybody see this? So I want to edit the test options. And there's a reason why I'm showing you this in my madness. You see here it says Quiz 1, Chapter 1, right? And then it says make link available, and what should I say?
Yes.
Yes, wow, what a class. It says yes, and now I'm, by before I gave multiple attempts, so I could not check this, but I'm going to check the multiple attempt for the first time, and I'm going to give you 2 attempts to do it. So I'll give you a quiz. The quiz, then you can have 2 attempts to do it, and it says down here, what does it say? It says self-assessment, and it says it will include this test in the Grade Center store calculations, and after submission, and after attempts are graded, right, it will be graded, and then I can say here, what does this say? If I go down here, after attempts are graded, and then what do I need to do? Allie, I need to click submit, right? Mm-hmm. And now how can you tell if I did it?
We'll see it.
You'll see it. So one of the things, I'm just teaching you kind of the way, the tricks of the trade here. Our tricks of the trade are what? When I do something, you have to come back to me and say, hey, I can make mistakes all night long, you'll see, right? So you have to say, wait a minute, hold on, we don't see it, I made a mistake. So now you see it, and basically you have then this quiz. I will give you quizzes that will be due every week.
Is it from the textbook?
It's from the textbook. So these quizzes are from the textbook, and guess what chapter this first one is, Allie? 1, wow. What a way to go. So this is going to be quiz 1 from chapter 1, and guess what? It's going to be online. You can take as long as you want. It can be open book. You can find the questions, and you have 2 times to do it. Because what? If you have issues on some of those questions, then what do I want from you?
question.
Just basically bring that back to class. Those questions that are so simple, why waste all our time? What, time is precious, yes,
Are
Alan.
these grades part of assignments? Like,
They're gonna be, these grades here are gonna be part of, it's gonna blend in with part of assignments, but they're gonna be a very small portion of that. Because why? It's open book, why? You get 2 times the rate. It's more for your understanding, and it can help you with the exams. So when you think about what's the exam going to look like, exam 1 will be a combination of questions like this, plus open-ended questions that we're talking about in class. But I want you to do it, right? It's required to do it, but do you have to do it? You don't have to do anything, right? But in terms of this class, you're
When is the
required.
last day to do it?
Right now, I'm going to leave it open.
Okay. Nice.
We can do it. It should be due for next time we meet. But right now, since we're having people come and go in the class, sometimes we'll have people dropping or changing sections or whatever we're doing. Those of you that are interested to do it on Wednesday rather than this one, since it's a smaller class, those are reasons why I'm leaving it open. You know, we're having people switch sections, switch out. But later on, but you can think about it. What is your name?
Estela.
Estella. You can think about it every week before the class, the quizzes are due. And your responsibility is to ask me any questions that you have. There may be mistakes, you know. Who knows? It may say one thing on one part. I found in the internet something else to say, so bring it up. Okay, so you can see here, there's something called TG. TG is called the Tech Guide. So you can see here, I'm doing quiz 1. After that, some of you that, let me make this available too, just so you have it. I'm going to just make this available. Edit the test options. Just so you have an idea here. I'm going to open this, and it says open the test, make the link available, and I'm just going to break enter. Estella, do you see something on your end? TG. So put in your notes there, TG stands for Tech Guide. So after chapter 1, in the book, we're going to go to Tech Guide number 1. And Tech Guide number 1, you'll see, and then I do Tech Guide number 2, and then I'll do security, is the idea to be able to know about hardware and software. Everybody has the same foundation. Okay? Questions on that? Pretty simple. We'll proceed with that. So, we're able to do this. I'm now on, go back to my Blackboard, and you can see here that I was in KX.
oh, the tech guides are at like the end of the book.
At the end of the book, right. So the Tech Guide is at the end of the book. So we'll go from chapter 1 to the end of the book on the Tech Guides. Okay, but I just wanted to let you know that we were doing that. Questions? Anything else? Okay. So let me minimize this. Right, I'm going to minimize this.
How many questions are on these quizzes?
Usually about from 10 to 20. It's not long. So maybe 20, something like that. Now, let me just show you a couple of things here. So let's see if this works. Any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand and let me know in terms of questions that you have. This is something that was called Webcam Max, and it says, do I want a new version? I say I want to cancel, and then I want to try, because what did I say? That I was cheap, okay? So here I have my Webcam Max, I have it over here. And now I have another program called MSN Recorder Max. And in this program, MSN Recorder Max, this is another program which I call a screencasting program. When I was using that Hangouts on Air or that YouTube Live, either I was broadcasting myself, or in the Hangouts on Air, I was broadcasting my screen. This is another program that doesn't broadcast but records everything that happens on my screen. So this is called, there's a number of these screencasting programs, and you can put this in your note there. They're called screencasting, and I can record. So if I want to record, what do you think I need to do? Press record. Okay, wow. So I'm going to press record, and now it looks similar. It's asking me, do I want to do full screen? I say yes. And then it says file name. It says my video, and it says it says then what it says 18/01/22. What do you think that means? Any idea? Date. And 19/28/36. Any ideas? Huh? What do you think 19/28/36 means? Any ideas?
What's the time?
Time. So this is basically take dates and times it, and now when I say record, it's recording my screen. So I can go back, and you see how it's recording my screen. I can go back and, for instance, go back to my Blackboard. I had another Blackboard. You see here I have something called 210KX Fundamentals. Right? Remember how I had it before? And I have, I can go back. And now if I want to stop, notice when I stop here, what does it ask at the top? What does it ask me in the top here? What does it say? What does it say on the very top? What does it say on the very top here? What is your name? Lindsay. What's it say on the very top? It says upload to YouTube. So this screencasting program will also upload to YouTube, and it asks for my username and my password, and will then do it and gives the file location. I can give tags, and what are the tags good for? The tags are good for something later on. Remember when I said that I could be on YouTube, we could create a channel? The tags on YouTube will enable me to do what we call SEO. And what is SEO?
Search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization. Who said that? Very good. What is your name?
Blake.
Okay, Blake. Have you ever done any search engine optimization?
A little bit.
Okay, so we're going to be doing some as well, so you can be one of our leaders then here on Blake and Jerry. It's called search engine optimization, and there are ways in which to do what? To be number one, or on the first pages. We want to be on the first pages when we do a Google search rather than on the last pages of doing a Google search. So we'll be looking at that as well, and you can put this in your notes here, is I'd like you to find a screencasting program as well. So you can find a screencasting program, and ideally, I'd like you to have one that works with other programs that you can upload to YouTube. In this case, I'm having issues with my screencasting program uploading to YouTube. So I'm gonna close it, but if I wanted to play this, what would I have to do to play it, Alex?
Click play.
Wow. Click play and let's see if it works. And we're having some, let's see if I have my audio here. We're having some issues with my audio. You see that? But you can see exactly the exact keystrokes in which I did it, and it'll save the file, and it should then record my voice as well. What's it good for? In terms of you're having issues with some of the software, you can then screencast it. Have you ever gone, for instance, to a mechanic whenever your car has some problems, and it's making a certain noise, and by the time I get it to the mechanic, right, it doesn't have that same noise? It's almost like if I could screencast that, if I could take a video and basically have that video stream of this is the sound it makes, these are areas in which you can do it as well. So you can play this again, that you could view this. So what I want you to do is find then a screencasting program and take note. If you can find one that uploads to YouTube, and it will then do it, what I'd like to do eventually is to do this programmatically, that when I'm talking about a certain topic, I can create, for instance, and we'll look at this, like a macro software that will run in the background, that every time I make a clip, it will then upload to YouTube. So that will be on this one every time that I'm uploading to YouTube. So I'll do that as well. Okay, questions? So what I'd like you to do is, I've introduced myself, and what I wanted to do is quickly, we'll go around the class, and what I want you to do is I want you to introduce yourself, tell me what your major is, tell me what your work experience is, and if you've had any experience in technology. Okay? Everybody understand? So we'll start with you.
I'm Alex. I'm a real estate major. My work experience was I did an internship at an acquisition group, and I haven't really.
Okay, and then also tell me where you're from too.
I'm from New York.
New York. Okay.
My name's Allie. I'm an entrepreneurship major.
Mhm.
I'm also from New York.
Mhm.
And business experience, I started my own little business.
And what's your business?
I make pillows and leggings for tailgates.
Okay, and how do you get sales?
Through a website called Redbubble or through Instagram. I have a business account.
Okay, so maybe you can share it with us, and maybe we can give you tips on how to make it better. Okay, great.
Hi everybody, my name is Wei. My major is international finance and marketing. I haven't worked here, but I do some my own investments on stock market and cryptocurrencies.
Really? Great. So wonderful. So you can then basically, we can work together, and you can be like one of our group leaders with the groups, and we can see what we can do. Okay. Yes.
My name's Phil. I'm an accounting major from Long Island. My work experience, you mean just like work in general?
Well, yeah, work in general. What have you done? Have you had a job before?
Yeah, I've had like a lot.
Okay, but just in general. I don't need to hear every one.
I was a caddy. I worked.
Okay, how about more in business besides a caddy?
I worked for the financial aid office.
Okay, here?
At Miami last year.
Okay.
And what was the last question?
And your major is?
Accounting.
Accounting. Okay, and any computer tech experience? Have you done anything?
I built my own computer when I was younger.
Okay, good. So when we get to the hardware stuff, you can help people. You ever done a virtual machine created?
Yeah.
You have? Okay, great. So you can help us in terms of virtual machine. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some automated trading systems. And in terms of the automated trading systems, what we're going to be working, it works on Windows. So when we have works on Windows, what's the problem with that?
If you have a Mac.
If you have a Mac, so what can we do with a Mac? What is your first name again?
Phil,
Phil. So what can we do?
you can get a program that allows you to
Right.
run Windows on your Mac.
Yeah, so one of the things is you may want to already start doing is either run something like Parallels or Boot Camp, or even create a virtual machine. Basically what's the problem here is, the issue here is we need another operating system. So we're working on a Mac, we need another operating system, like a Windows. So maybe you can help other students with that. Yes?
My name is Faith. I'm from Detroit. I'm a healthcare management and policy major.
Okay.
My work experience, I worked in a law firm on health policy, and I also do health economics research.
Okay, so we'll be doing maybe some of our projects will be in healthcare as well, because you think about basically healthcare is just changing dramatically
Yeah.
in terms of technology. And healthcare among all the other disciplines is probably the least progressive, so they have many times, they were just now starting, some are even having paper, that you have to even commit. Yes?
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm from St. Louis. I'm a physical therapy major, but I'm here because it's required for me to take this course.
Okay.
I have no background in technology really.
Okay, so maybe it's nice that you can work together in terms of that with the health policy and
My name's
physical
Frankie.
therapy.
I'm from Miami and I'm majoring in marketing, and the only jobs I've had were construction. I worked at a seafood shop, and I was a sales manager at the malls, like people that take pictures of the Easter Bunny and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I was a manager of that.
Okay, so you weren't the Easter Bunny.
No.
Okay, okay, you have to supervise the Easter Bunny. Okay, well, that's supervision here. Okay,
Hi, my name's Priscilla, and my voice is kind of gone because I'm sick.
okay. And that's another ring, Priscilla, we can rehearse that. If you're really sick, the people next to you don't want to sit next to you. If you're really sick, I don't want you to be here, but what's the beauty here is that you can collaborate and be remotely, you can tune in. I'm just being serious, right? Because really, it's the other, you're really feeling bad, right? But you can be at home, really you don't want to infect any other people. So I'm not saying don't come, right? But I'm saying that if you are sick, stay at home, okay? Because we don't need to be, I get, get it as well. Okay. And what is your major again?
I'm a legal studies major. I did an internship at a law firm last summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm currently a transfer assistant, and I have no...
Okay, so one of the things is the legal area is basically going to change as well. So even if you think, hey, I'm not tech, show me one area that's not going to be disruptive by tech and trying to do it. The whole idea of, do you want to be an attorney, or is that so the whole idea of being an attorney any longer, you don't need all those large buildings there, a lot of overhead, and it's basically framing it out, and you can collaborate among a number of different people, and they're trying to be, again, intelligent, trying a lot of the documents that you file, a lot of times there's going to be artificial intelligence, it's going to be bots filing those, and what you need, your job is going to be different many times, is creating the rules to a lot of that. So we'll be looking at that as well. Yes?
I'm Estela. I'm from Spain. I'm an econ major. I don't have an experience with technology
Okay.
at all.
And then when you think about it, again, the technology in terms of just even Spain and the U.S., China as well. Yeah.
I'm Lexi. I'm an entrepreneurship major. I'm from Massachusetts. I own an LLC, and I've interned for an app and web design company.
Okay, great. So it'll be a great participation. And what's the LLC?
I run summer programs.
And how do you get work? How do you get people to come for those summer programs? You have a website or what?
Yeah, I have a website and social media.
Okay, great. So you can even be as well when we're having these is show us. Maybe some of the times we can take a break, and if you don't mind, we can you can get tips from everyone, and you can see already what you've been doing. And that's the whole idea here in terms of social media, right? It's changing completely, and in terms of doing business, wonderful. We'll use your expertise. Yes.
I'm George. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I don't really have much work experience, but I trade stocks and cryptocurrencies.
Great, so we'll be doing, and you'll be doing together, maybe in terms here of trading, we'll look at some predictive models and see how you're doing it. Wonderful.
I'm William from Miami, and I'm a finance major, and I also invest in stocks.
You invest in stock too? God, we got all these stock here. We're gonna make a fortune. You know, later on we don't even have to come. Or we'll be losing our shirt, right? And we'll have to come here, right? We won't have any money, right? So we'll look at some of those as well. Yes, great.
My name is Blake Myerson. I'm a mathematics and business analytics double major.
Okay.
Work experience, I worked locally at a data analytics firm. Traded a bit myself algorithmically, and last summer interned at an algo fund based out of Gables. So
Which one?
Rios Quan is the name.
Oh, you were at Rios Con with Joe?
Yeah, Joe. I actually met him through a
Doctor?
seminar. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so what are you doing for Joe?
I was working on institutional retail investors that were looking to transition from the active management to gray box, black box strategies.
So you just worked for a few months with him, or are you still working with him?
It was 4 weeks.
Really?
And I personally was a bit frustrated because he had me on the prop side. I wanted to be working on the
right.
the front side.
It's not using your skills.
No,
it's
no,
a waste.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't we do this? Those people. Let me just put a note here. Maybe we can even start doing it in the beginning. This is another program. Did you download Ninja Trader?
Me? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is maybe we may do something here. Then on NinjaTrader.com, we'll maybe start looking at some of those and creating some algorithms with that. So those of you that this runs on Windows, so those of you that have possibilities to do it. So stay with me. All those people that are doing the trading, I'll end a little bit early. So maybe I'll give an assignment for those people with the stock first. Maybe we can even set that up. Yes.
My name's Griffin. I'm majoring in finance and marketing. I'm from Chicago. And work experience this summer, I worked part-time at a restaurant and then part-time doing data analytics for a Chicago public school.
Okay. And what did you do in the data analytics?
Basically, there was a lot of schools closing down, so just...
So what tools did you use for
it
the
was
data?
mostly Excel, just looking
Oh,
at
okay.
addresses and sending kids to different schools.
Yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a finance major. I don't really have any business work experience other than just random jobs. And, I don't have any experience in technology.
Okay, so we'll see where your strengths are, huh?
I'm Cole. I'm a finance major from Long Island. I have no experience.
Okay, so let's start here.
I'm Coleman. I'm from Chicago. I worked at an ice cream shop, and then I don't have any experience with business technology.
Okay.
I'm Ben. I'm from Jamaica. I'm a finance major, and business-wise, I bought some NEO and some ODM the other day. Crypto, so hoping it goes well.
Right. Okay, so another crypto guy. Okay, I hope that you guys, I don't have to take you in, that you won't have any money left, and I'll have to take, yes.
My name is Carl Wise. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. My majors are business management, motion pictures, and finance minor. And right now I'm in SAT and ACT, and I'm a business tutor for a place in the Grove.
Okay. What place in the Grove?
Prepworks.
Okay, no, I did a Women in Tech conference, and I had the CEO at the conference at my seminar, and she wanted even to come here in terms of. It was interesting. Her algorithm. They have some software that's available. Did you look at their software?
No.
Okay. Okay, so they do some software and they try to make it intelligent, based on certain questions to do it. Okay. So do you see her at all, or you don't have any contact with her? Yeah, Tracy.
I've seen her in the office a couple of times.
Okay, so you can send her my regards. Tell her that you're taking my class. Okay. Small world, huh?
I'm Nick. I'm from Long Island. I'm an economics major, and I
Okay, yes.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. I'm a marketing major and I'm currently interning at a marketing and talent management agency, like a social media and
And what are you doing?
I basically like help with the talent and also like run their social media pages and then like help with events that they put on, like they do like different events.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, my name's Cam. I'm from Central Massachusetts. I'm an entrepreneurship major, and for work experience, I've been interning at the Make-A-Wish Foundation for a little over a year now. I help organize fundraising events.
I'm Bryn. I'm a marketing major. I've worked at a healthcare company for 3 years as a marketing intern. And now I'm a marketing intern for Massachusetts. So if someone wants burritos.
Okay.
My name is Rafael. I'm from Brazil. I'm majoring in entrepreneurship, and I'm doing the helping you relevant to the experience.
I'm Ashley. My major is finance. I'm a work study, and I don't have technical experience.
I'm Annie. I'm a marketing major, junior from Long Island, and my job's not really business related.
Okay.
I'm Leah. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm a accounting major and also a college.
I'm John. I'm a real estate major. I don't have much business experience, but I've recently gotten into crypto.
Wow, so many crypto people here. And what are you trying? You're doing what with
Just like cryptocurrency, like
trading to
or like
trying to make a living? Okay. Next.
I'm Brian from Chicago, Illinois, and
Are you leaving?
Yeah, I dropped the class.
Okay. All right. That's good. So it works out for all of us.
alright, I'm Brian from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a management and finance major. My business experience is I started my company a few years ago.
What's your company?
Basically, it makes a product that restrings, drawstrings through hoodies. I'm from Chicago, so it's much more, you work with there more.
So basically you have, so how does it work?
It's just like a little apparatus. You attach it to the end of the string, and then when it falls out, you can move it back in like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Because like I saw online, people were taking like 10 minutes doing it, so I just
And they were doing like with the safety pin or something?
yeah, something like that.
Right, okay. And then how are you selling it?
We're selling it online. Right now, we're not actually for sale because we just moved manufacturing.
Wow. So maybe you can share it with us with all the other ones, if we can look at it. Maybe you can show it, can you bring in one? Show us an
Yeah, I
example?
can show you one of our old ones, yeah.
Okay, so show us, nice.
My name is Brianna. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a finance major and I don't have experience with technology. Hi, I'm Brittany. I am from Washington, D.C. and I'm an international studies and international finance major. I did marketing for a book fair company and I do coding in Java and Python.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have, and what is your major again?
International studies and international finance.
Okay, good. And so basically, maybe we can use your, in some of our projects, we can do some of the coding here, that'd be interesting. Okay, so we got a motley group here, right? So international as well. So let's do this. Go back to Blackboard. And you have, somebody was asking about audit. What does it say in your audit area when you just go to Blackboard? Anybody have the word audit? What does it say above audit?
Instructor.
Courses where you're an instructor. Everybody have that? Who does not have that? Okay, so you remember we were talking about roles as student and roles as instructor? So let's go to, we're in KX, right? So let's go to instructor, right? And let me just do this. Use this machine here. Let's do this PC. I'm in Blackboard. I go to K, Audit KX Fundamentals. And you see here you have course documents. And what's in course documents? What do you have in course documents? That. So what I'm going to do, don't do this right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a content folder. And in this content folder then, I'm going to make myself group 0. And then I'm going to make myself my name, Dr. Sarah Rushanek. And then I'll give my Gmail account here. So I'll give drsrush@gmail.com, and I'll give my phone number here. And I'm going to permit the users to view the content, and you see here, you'll have it, and then I'll just submit. Right? And then I'll have, under that, I want to have 2 other folders. I want to have one folder that's called it's basically in terms of collaboration, software, and it will be, I'm going to use then, for my name, I'm going to then put in, for instance, Hangouts on air. And then I'll include it, and then in this way, I'm going to then put a collaboration tool that I used with maybe my group, and then I'll put the link or I'll upload the small video file. So what I want with each group is to research a collaboration tool that you can use, you can work, and if it broadcasts, that's good. There's other ones that there may be collaboration tool. One's called Team Viewer. One is called Zoom. These are all you can get free versions. Others you can try out is what I use. I'm using YouTube Live. YouTube Live. There's a number of different ones out there to use. So that's collaboration software, and then the other part, which I want to use. Let me go back to course documents. I'm in course documents. I'm in group 0. I have collaboration, and then I'm going to do another content folder, and I'll call it screencasting. Screencasting programs. And I'm using, right now, I'm using MSN Recorder. That uploads to YouTube. And I submit. And within there, I can upload and put in the screen a little clip. So what I wanted you to do for next week, your assignment, we're going to break up into groups. Each group then will put themselves up on the audit area and find collaboration programs and find a screencasting program. In the screencasting program, what I'd like you to do is record a short video, maybe 1-2 minutes, talking about that screencasting program. The pluses, the minuses, it works on Windows, it works on Mac, It stores it on the cloud. It stores it on the cloud plus on my computer, giving like kind of the pros and cons of that. Give the URL where you can find that. And in this case, we can share with each other. The beauty here is everybody can see what everyone else does here, right? That you're uploading, that you're doing it. And those people that are doing the stock, I'd like to talk with you, so maybe we can coordinate something for, next week, and maybe even be in a group together and we can do something. Because one of the things that I would like, this is a little bit different, is that everybody gets something out of this class based on your strengths and learning new skills. That's what I want. So, and we have different versions, like you have the Python, the others do, and no one, I'm not expecting everybody, to teach Python in this class, starting, from others. But you can do the Python. Other people are really good in social media. They can do the social media part of our projects and so forth. Other people are good in marketing. Some people are good in terms of using predictive analytics and trying to find the strengths of everybody. Other people, hey, I know the finance, and I want to learn some more finance programs and things like that. Does everybody understand this? So basically, not stop, and as we continue, we'll be modifying and honing in on our project. And I want it to be as useful that you can go away with this with skills, additional skills, rather than, hey, I got an A or a B in that class. And I passed the test. The tests are almost, that everybody's on the same road, that everybody has the same idea in terms of the terminology. But I want to go beyond just that terminology and say, hey, these are the skills that I have. And whether we'll do additional, how many people have experience in doing websites? Anyone? So we'll be doing some on that. We'll be creating some websites in terms of that, in terms of social media, in terms of looking at maybe search engine optimization, increasing those as well, to make it as useful as possible. And that's why I'm saying, as the gentleman that left, if this is not for you, understand, we can smile about it, but if this is not the type of course you want to take, well, why waste my time and your time? You understand? But if it is something that you want to do, that's the difference why I was saying about having as a slacker classes, There are classes, you know what I mean, that you don't have to put as much work into it, but it's a different type of work, It's almost like a struggling work. That the idea here is not that, hey, I couldn't get it to work, but that I documented well, and now we're going to have to kind of search for a solution for it. But you can see, even those of you that are running your own small businesses, you see, there's not anything that says chapter 1, we got to do this. You almost have to kind of go by the punches, right? You got to learn and you have to move, right? And that's what this environment is. If you just wait, somebody's going to pass you by, And those of you that are even trading, right? It's completely a different market than it was 2 months ago versus 3 years ago versus today. It's always going to be changing. So if you're not trying to figure out where can that technology help me, and then I have to take advantage of those risks that are involved. So everybody with me. So what I'd like to do for this time is that meet in groups. Let's have groups. Let's say, what do we have now? I don't know, others of you that decide not to. Is there anyone else you don't have to, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, but I'm not, if you don't want to stay in the class, you can leave. If you don't plan to continue with this class. But other than that, let's say 3 to 4 people in a group. Because if we make it larger than that, it's too many, and some of the, so 3 to 4 people. Now, who are with my trading group? Who are doing 1 here, 2, 3, and then here we're doing some 4, 5. So maybe we'll do it in terms of a group. We can look at that, and we'll see also what your schedule are. Maybe in changing to Wednesday, some of you as well. And those of you that can do it on Wednesday, do that. Okay? So let's do this in class. So you think about it now, we'll do it as lab. Create your groups, and then everybody understand what the assignment is? So what's the assignment, Alex?
To find a screencasting program, create a folder in the audit area, use the screencasting program to create a 2-minute video explaining how it works.
And then
the
also,
link.
do the collaboration. The difference in the screencasting is you do it on your own. The collaboration, who do you do it with? Your group. So you find you can even try it a number of different collaboration programs. And then you can see which one works the best, what are the advantages and disadvantages. So you can research it, right? I have, if you look at my web links, I have some things of giving you links in the web links as well, right? That I have, I think in here, if I go back to Blackboard, right? Let me go back to Blackboard and go.
Which one are we doing by ourselves? And which one
Screencasting by yourself. You'll be screencasting your own screen.
Oh, but we're doing it together though.
But you can do it together, but each of you find a different screencasting program. You can work together as a group, but your screencasting program with your voice will be here. The collaboration software, if it's collaboration, you have to collaborate with somebody. There are some that you can talk by yourself, right, that you can broadcast, right, but you need somebody to collaborate. That's the whole idea of collaboration programs. So create those and you can try it out and then put the link, and then we'll do next week, we'll look at what people have, and this way we can share what seems to be good. And why am I doing that? Because later on when we're working on projects, for instance, let's say George, he ends up figuring out how to do a software, he can put up a 3-minute, 4-minute tutorial on how to download the software and work with it, and other people can view it. Or another person can say, you know, this is where I got stuck on creating a virtual machine, and then someone can say, this was your problem. So everybody can kind of document what worked well and what didn't work well. And then in terms of collaboration, when you have to meet your groups, sometimes we can't meet our groups physically. We can meet with our groups virtually. And then we can invite additional participants from all over the world. So we can get somebody from Spain, somebody from Brazil, right, to come in and talk as well. And then when you're going to be supervising, those of you having companies, a lot of times you'll get outsourcing your work from people throughout the world, right? You don't have to get people, you say you're in Chicago, you can have people in Chicago, you can have people in China, you can have people doing my work in, the Russians now are really big in the cryptocurrency and all the blockchain, right? So I can get my Russian, I'll have one of the guys that I'm inviting to class is Russian, and he lives in Miami and Dayton, but his whole programming team is in St. Petersburg, and his marketing team is in Miami and Silicon Valley. How do you gain access to all those people? How do you keep track of all that? And a lot of times you want to document it because there's misunderstandings. And later on you may want to have somebody take a video and then basically then translate it to different languages, right? And you maybe have it Portuguese, Spanish, and Chinese, right? Because people are not interpreting stuff. Everybody got it. So let's break up into groups, 3 to 4 people in a group. Start off, and then we'll see where we go from there next week. And if you have additional questions, stay with me, and my stock people here will see me and we can talk. Anything else?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I don't understand what we're doing as a group.
As a group, you're going to do a collaboration program.
Okay.
You'll try, maybe, let's say you find one program and you'll take Allie and you'll have another person in your group, right? And you'll try out the collaboration program.
So that's all we're doing.
And you'll record it.
Okay.
And then you'll post your recording
Can you go
here.
over how you post on the audit?
Oh, sure. Good idea. So let's say I have my file, good question. I have my file, let's say this. All I have to do is, what would I have to do? I'm going to go into my audit area, go into my course documents, go into my group, and let's say I wanted to put my program, right? I go into screencasting, and now I could do either an item or a file. So let's say I'll do an item. The item, I can give it a name. I can describe the URL here. I can, if it's a file, right? You see how it says browse my computer? You see that, Allie?
Yeah.
And I browse my computer and then I say submit.
Okay. What's the difference
Items.
between item and file?
It's like we rehearsed it. Very good question. Did you hear her question? It was, what's the difference between item and file? Item, I like item a lot of ways better than file because item allows me to write some text here. So here you can write some text. You can write what were the pros, what were the cons of what you did. You could also even put the URL of your software here. If I do, let me just cancel here. Excellent question. Item, if I do file, notice file, I don't have room to write anything. There's other differences here, but put a note there. If you're going to be adding something, use item rather than file, because then you can write a description of what you're doing. Does that answer your questions? Both of your questions? What else? Anything else? Yes.
Is the video that we have to upload for when of the screencasting software or our group?
Both.
Okay.
Everybody understand her question? Her question, what do I upload? I'll upload your screencasting. Basically, you do it like a little demo and talk about, remember I said use your own dog food?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about this, your that program. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? How to use it?
Okay.
Where it works on a Windows. It works on Windows and Mac. It can store on the cloud, and also I get I have this file itself. Short, like 2 minutes or something like that, talking about it. The other one, the collaboration program that you find, like I did YouTube Live or Zoom or whatever, you can record that as well, and then record on how easy was it to bring other people into the group. Now I'm collaborating, we're sharing our screens, we're working as a team. Think about it as ways in which how you would work in a team on the software. So you can record those. And what I'd like to do, and the thing is you'll have to work together in a team, but you may want to evaluate more than one software program. Like for instance, Alex would say, oh, I'll use Zoom, we'll try Zoom together. And Allie says, you know what, I'll try YouTube Live, or I'll use TeamViewer, let's see how that works. And think about it in the way of exploring software. And when it doesn't work, record that too. Right? Of, hey, these were my issues. I don't know how to save the file, or I don't know how, or the audio didn't work, or, we had problems seeing her face. Because sometimes we want to see the person's face. Sometimes we want to share the screen. We could look at each other. Like Skype, right? You can do like a Skype conference, right? You've used Skype before, right? So the idea, and you wanted to have a recording feature in it. Who's ever worked in groups, right? Sometimes in groups, we have some groups that work beautifully together and one person never even showed up. Have you ever had that, right? And they want to have the same grade. One of the things is if you record all your meetings, where were you in these meetings, This way you feel bad, hey, I'm making up stories here, I have documentation. Right? If you were supervising somebody, right? These are the contributions. Or the opposite, here they were so great. Their grades in the test didn't look so good, but look at their great ideas they gave during the group. Let's look positive. What else? So let's get to work. So let's make our groups. Let's put this up already. And you can start reviewing it. And those of you that have time, you can even start working on it now. And then between now and next week, you'll finish it up and we'll set that up. So it should follow the same thing I do with the emails, their names, as you can. Okay? So move your chairs everywhere together. Who does not have a group? Raise your hand. 1 here, 2, 3 here. We can even work together. So join together. Was it?
Should we be paying for it or no?
I would start with free. At least look for something that's free. You know what I'm saying? Some later on you can get, the non-free version that will give you, without ads. But let's start off with free. Because why pay for something we don't even know about? You know, if it's really great, then we can chip in and do something, but don't pay now.
Okay.
And move your chairs and be together.
We each have to find different.
So you each want to do different, because what do you just two to a group?
Yeah. We're good now.
Okay, we'll start, and then later on, once we see people coming in and going, I have a feeling people are come and go here, so then we can
work
put
well
more.
together.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we went to high school together.
Really? Wow. And you knew you were coming together? Oh, okay, sounds great.
Okay, we'll do the collaboration one right now.
So look for a collaboration, think about, look at something like TeamViewer, Zoom.
We could try like YouTube Live.
You
like
could
that.
try YouTube Live, the same thing I'm doing.
Okay.
But
And like
YouTube-
show the chat feed. Like we'll show like different like the,
Features
yeah.
of it, right. So
Okay.
in YouTube, like, you have a channel, you just have to create
Yeah. Oh,
a
I have
channel.
like yeah.
You have a channel,
Yeah.
so
Are we, do we both have to post it, or should we post it but with both of our names in the comments?
You can put both of your names, I mean, it's together in that, right. Yeah, try YouTube Live, and that way, great.
I've never made a video. I have like an
See,
account.
see,
so-
that's what I'm saying, and do it, try to find instructions, you know, for YouTube Live with your channel, you go to Creator Studio. And then, you know, later on, what you can even do is create a video showing how to use YouTube Live.
Yes. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you can show others. Folks, when you're using your collaboration, you can do your recording of how to use that collaboration tool. And then make it useful already, rather than talking nonsense. Everything that we do, it has a purpose to it. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste any of our time. So for instance, Alex and Allie want to use YouTube Live, the same one I wanted to do. So I said, if you're going to use YouTube Live like I am, create almost like a little tutorial. How do you create a YouTube Live video? So he says that first you need to, you need to create a have a channel. Once you have a channel, then, you go to Creator Studio and so forth, and then someone can follow it. Just like you can do anything else, so you can ready use it positively.
I'm gonna do it first, and we'll just go through it and see all at once. Okay. All right. So first, we'll like reopen. Should we create a new account? Just do tool.
Yeah, like talk.
Oh, yeah. YouTube live streaming.
But you guys can use YouTube Live the same as I did. But try to find another screencasting program, and in your screencasting programs, try to see if you can find them that will upload to YouTube, so that way we can create bots to do that.
So step one is to log on to YouTube.com.
To log into your Gmail.
Well, because not everybody has like a Gmail. And be like, if you don't have that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's kind of what it doesn't get pushed. This is the greatest case I've ever purchased, because it's just got enough of a lip. But if there's like a problem.
Next, go to just hot right corner.
It's a macro recorder.
Go to Creator Studio.
And then you can find others that do that. So what we can do is
On the left, just hang on the flip phone, toolbar, menu bar.
we can have it on in the background.
Click on live stream. Next, click get started.
And then the other one, we can use the same screen.
Click the author's Well, I don't know if that's gonna be, I don't think that's every time. Just do, text
That
me.
video, that response, and this is kind of.
Did you do the thing so you can unlock your,
Look at that, it's-
did you do the thing where you can unlock your computer from your Apple Watch? How
that
about
will
that?
run. Yes,
If, I think I'm gonna switch into the Wednesday class.
okay, perfect.
So what should I do about the group?
Do you have other group members? Who else wants to switch into Wednesday? Is there anyone else with you guys? Wednesday night instead? Who can switch to Wednesday? Anyone? Okay, so what, you can switch to? So maybe if you two want to switch, I'm gonna have some, more guest speakers probably on Wednesday, because we're gonna invite other people from the outside to do that. So you can, what I would do is for the screencasting, do it, and then we'll put you in another group. You've done that homework part, and then we can put you into that other.
Where you going?
Okay.
Yeah,
So then should I not work as like these two guys for the other part? Does like the collaboration?
Work with them, because then that way you'll have experience doing it, you understand? So when you go to the next group on Wednesday, you'll be able to, say, hey, I've done this, and then we can take your group, your work, save your work, and we can upload it to the Wednesday. So it's the same thing, we'll have an audit area there. So work with these guys now, and then just come on Wednesday. You guys can come on Wednesday too, or no? Okay, both of them, okay, so then just do that. So work with them now, and then that way you're up to speed.
I'll say that.
And then they pick a category for your.
Create a title for your product, a description, and a
Server,
Oh, yeah. Folks, if you need to go to the restroom or somewhere, sometimes what I'm gonna do, instead of taking a break, I'll go maybe like to 8, and then we'll do like the team, and then you can go to the restroom. Sometimes when I take a break in the middle, like 7:30, when I'm afraid, it's almost like when I run, as soon as I stop running, I just lose all speed, so I'd rather end earlier. And then people, if you have to go to the restroom, go in between.
Oh, wait, you
You know
can
what I
change
mean?
the
But give me feedback. Yeah.
thumbnail.
Yeah.
And then it puts a picture right there. So we could just, yeah, we should do that. Alright, so there's just an extra thing.
Just like, and then we click create, and then what is it gonna?
So the differences between the collaboration and the screencast, is the screencasting
What is
for
it,
the
live
intention of like utilizing that for collaboration down the line?
The idea is the screen, some of the collaboration you can use as screencasting as well.
Okay.
But the screencasting, usually what it is my individual screen. I want to capture and make a video of my individual screen. I may be able to broadcast that screen, but I'm just using it not to collaborate with others. I'm just using it for what I've done. So if I'm using Ninja Trader and I want to do a tutorial on how to use Ninja
So I can record
Trader.
myself and then
stream options.
Right, save it locally and distribute it and put it on my YouTube channel or wherever I can do it. The screencasting was, if you're trading, as you're trading, I can have the world come see me trade. And then you could even do it
before you start, you need to
either give it
download
out,
coding software.
you have it free, anonymous. Or later on, I could even make it that you have to have a certain password, or I could have certain.
So like paid accessibility,
Paid accessibility later on that I could do it, or for some, between 6 and 7 at night, I'll do a free one, and between 8 and 9, I'll do the premium version. So think about screencasting. The collaboration is the idea of collaborating with other people. Screencasting, it's just my own. Independent.
Are we using screencasting to videotape our screen of how we set up a collaboration?
Perfect, I do.
So can we do them both together instead of individually?
Right. And then you also see if the collaboration will also have some folks. A lot of times the screencasting and collaboration, they overlap. Some collaboration programs let you screencast, right? Some not. But Ali brought up a good idea. She said, I'll use my screencasting program to screencast using our collaboration. So one doing the other. So one screencasting how to use a collaboration program. And then you don't have to, you can take notes, but then you can review it over and over again. Then you post it to your audit area and say, hey, this is how you use this one. And then you can look at somebody else's and say, oh, she's using Screenomatic, right? And they're using Zoom. I'm not sure how to use Zoom. Let me see their tutorial on how to use Zoom.
Yeah, I'm just confused about the collaboration part. So is that like a separate program we use?
Separate program to be able to collaborate with each other at the same
How do you
time.
start this though?
All in one screencasting?
Oh wait.
Like, for example, go to look at Team Viewer, look at Zoom, or even,
Like on the screencasting program? On the program?
it's a separate program.
Oh, Team Viewer is one.
Team Viewer is one, Zoom is one. Just look for collaboration software. So it's basically, who's in your group?
Those two girls.
Okay, so those three girls, for instance, you want to meet next week, right? You don't have time. You can then get together online and talk about your programs, and it's recording. You're talking about your programming, and then you say, hey, these are my screens, you're sharing your screens as well.
Okay, so are we each uploading our own screencasting then, or are we just screencasting?
So you can upload your own screencasting, plus you can even upload, also you can have another version of screencast your collaboration. But it'd be good for each of you to find another screencasting program.
Because I just like figured out how to do the screencasting program, so I
Good.
just start to look at the Team Viewer thing.
Right. Look at the Team Viewer, look at the Zoom, you got the screen. And then once you do that, you can use your screencasting program to record your,
Is that in addition to uploading the first screencasting?
yeah.
We can't figure out.
What it says I need encoding software.
You don't, oh, you're doing it, let me show you how to do it. Hold on. You see me?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a new live event, okay? So I'm gonna go events. Hold on. Okay.
No, you changed it to the wrong screen. Sorry.
Oh,
I saw you changed. I thought.
okay, all right, so I'm here. So now,
Oh, you create a new event.
I go to new live event. Are you there?
Yes.
Do you have the same thing I have?
Yeah.
Create a new event, give it the name, today, right?
Yeah.
And then on the bottom here, right, and just have it, and you can make it, oh, and do this. This is the key here, Alex.
Yeah.
Is, you see here, quick, using Google Hangouts on air. Then I don't have to do the encoding.
Oh, okay.
So it's simple.
Okay.
So that'll be great. And then do like a little, and you can do a screencast on this, on how to do this.
Okay. All right.
You know, even though Allie, she's typing it, but also doing a screencast.
Yeah,
So I'm just typing out what we want to say.
Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah.
And then we'll do like a Screenomatic of how to use YouTube Live, like while streaming on YouTube Live, commenting from.
Because we're just doing them together.
Well, you're doing either one.
Okay.
You can put
We'll just
both
do it
of your
once.
names,
Okay.
right? Since there's two of you, you know what I mean. It's fine.
And then we'll interact with the live stream from our phones and like.
Right, and you
Okay.
can show it. And then you've already. Did you know this before?
No,
So
what?
already you've learned something.
Yes.
That's already. You know what I'm saying? It's positive.
Are we allowed to use like Google Docs and Google Sheets?
Yeah.
Collaboration program?
Yeah, it's part. It's part.
What do you mean? Like that can't be the collaboration?
Well, it can be part of the collaboration,
But you
but
want us to
I want something that you can record.
Yeah, so if I use the screencasting to record us using Google Docs, and the Google Docs would be our
Okay, but how will you? Let's say you're. What's your name again? Britain. So let's say you're at home.
Okay.
And you're going to be talking to your other three teams. How are you going to see them, and how are you going to talk to them?
Oh, do team viewers that you can physically see each other?
And you can share this.
Oh yeah. So you go to events.
Okay. Right.
Do you understand? You can use Google Docs as part of your way, but I want something in. Google Docs and all the other ones are collaboration tools, but I want something that you can record together and that you can view each other, your faces, you can view each other's screens.
Is this just an exercise or like does it have a due date that we have?
Next Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You know, but I want you to start here, so basically, Britton, that you can ask me questions just like this, you know, and then you can get on, that's the beauty, you know what I mean?
These out and stuff. And then.
Create tags so your video is easily found by
Fill in
other
the
people.
Fill in the blank box with this information,
And then we'll explain it while we're doing it.
And then.
Click go live
Yeah, I
now.
don't know what that's gonna do, but we'll figure it
Let's
out.
see.
Oh, what we're going on.
Well, let's just see what it does. And we go.
So Brent, say I cross
Scary.
and then I have something with
So exactly what do we need to hand in for the collaboration part?
So what software do you do?
I'll be right back.
What's the software that we do?
She signed in.
You have not?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. I think we're gonna use YouTube Live.
Okay, so on YouTube Live, if you use YouTube Live, folks, I have my YouTube Live here. If you're going to use the YouTube Live, you know, you have to create a channel. Let me just go back. When you say, let me just go back here. You see here where it says events and it says a new live event, give it a name, and then there'll be on the right-hand side, there'll be the type. It says quick and custom more encoding options. Use the quick. It's a lot easier. You don't have to have an encoding machine or anything. Just use the quick where it says use Google Hangouts on air. So you can record that, and then if you're going to use YouTube Live, use it not only as broadcasting where I did myself, but use it as participants where you'll invite each other there, that you should be able to see each other's picture and be able to share each other's screen. Because the idea here, YouTube Live, I'm using YouTube Live as only just broadcasting my screen. Later on, and everybody else can see, you saw the link, you can see me broadcast. So that's one application. The other one is if I want to invite participants into my session, they can then show their screens as well. So you can try to use YouTube Live. You can also see how it differs with Team Viewer. And some of those you can use together. Like you can use your screencasting and one of those, you know, screencast your YouTube Live or screencast your Team Viewer. Team Viewer, by the way, on the free version, it's become almost a standard. It's a German company, and you can get the free version if it's not commercial. It's used a lot for people that also want to help others remotely. So for instance, if you wanted, for instance, to help somebody on their machine, you can, if you give them their like user ID, they can come and take control. You give them control over your PC, you know, or your Mac. So play around with that too, because that's going to be important too. Sometimes when you're going to be working with others, you say, hey, I don't know what to do. I'll give you control, take over my screen, you know, and you can take control. So try that as well.
How do you allow plugins?
How do I allow who?
Oh, never mind, I got it.
What are you looking for in terms of the submission though? Did we just need to write up like the pros and cons of our collaboration software?
And do a little clip of it. And in your clip, talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. Put little comments of what are the pros and cons, when you would use it, and then have don't waste it. Do your collaboration describing the pros and cons, or how to use it, what are the things. Everything that we do, I want it to be not wasteful. Then you can give it to somebody else. The beauty is you can reuse it. So if you have another company you want to teach somebody, say, hey, just look at my videos. Or you forgot it, right? Or I want to try another one. And then we can use everyone else's too. That's the beauty. Think about each group, it's going to help each other. That's what life is.
How would you allow plugins?
Where are you?
It says select allow. We got up to like the Hangout part, but it says select the lot for Google Talk plugins in order to.
Okay, so you may have to allow it.
Because and then I click this, and I go to Safari, and I
Yeah, do you have
Google Chrome.
Google Chrome?
Should I try to use
Yeah.
Google Chrome instead? I'm
Yeah,
using
use
Safari right
yeah,
now.
use Chrome.
Okay.
I would use Chrome because if you use Chrome, you know that it's part of a Google product, it's going to be easier.
You're right.
That can be an option.
You can order just the screen.
That's why
Do you think we can't use Mac in this class? Because I know before you were saying we have to download Windows.
No, you can use it, but we'll have some software that you need to have a Windows. You need to have a Windows environment for some of the software. So it's either you get, or sometimes you may share with somebody that has Windows and so forth. But it's not that you can't have a Mac. But some of the software, for instance, the automated. What's your major?
Real estate.
Real estate. So some of that is a Windows based, in terms of predictions and so forth. It's only Windows based, so that's.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
My dad has it.
Yeah, I feel like I was just gonna say, but I don't want to have to have all my stuff for one class. Can you download a Windows like
At what point do you think we're going to need the Windows software? Or do you not know yet?
Probably in within the next couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe
why isn't this class in a computer?
Someone like we literally just go like that.
That would make sense, actually.
Yeah. I think what they do, because a lot of people teach it differently. You know what I mean? So we'll do. So what did we do? Show me what you've done, and then we'll go. Show me, what group are you? What group? Did you put your group in?
Sorry?
Did you put your group?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We were going to do that at the
Okay.
very once we have everything.
No, folks, even before you leave or something, put your group with everybody's email and everything, and have that part, with all the
Okay.
folders and
Okay.
everything.
So we should make a file for that?
How do you
No
get the
folder. Go back to Blackboard. Where's Blackboard?
Start broadcast?
Okay, you go to, of course, folks, now everybody should have, like group, I made myself group 0. You should make yourself, the first one, make yourself like group 1, group 2, with your names, just like how I did it.
All right, this one?
Oh, I got it.
No, go to the course document. Now make yourself a folder first. Contact. Now tell me.
Okay.
And then put here, put everybody's
Okay.
name,
I have those.
your email, and your phone for each of you. And then within that, make yourself a collaboration content folder and the others, and then you can fill in between. And have that first, you know what I mean?
Set it up when we're freaking on the computer.
That's why I can give you a fever, at least to get this part
Well,
done. You
stop
know what I
this
mean?
live
Because you wait till Monday and you say, I didn't even know how to make my folder.
So look, guys.
So everybody should have their group here.
Allison.
Are we in the video?
Did you go to Bill Concert?
How the fuck do you delete this?
What's the beginning?
Oh my god, it's on public.
Get rid of it.
Ow. Oh my god.
Okay, there's Instagram. It's called Brother Nat.
So who's group 3? So put your name just like I did. And Raphael and Wei, put your name. Use this as a part. Put your name, your email, and your phone number, just like this. So go back and create it. Group 3, if you're group 3 here, put your name, your email. This way also, if one group is really great, you can just figure out, hey, let me contact them. I can text them or I can email them. That's why I want you to at least, every group should have this before they leave. You gotta, just to have this one, that it looks like it.
That's our title.
Do you understand? So group 3 shouldn't look like this, it should have their name. Everything should have
we gotta do
like,
that.
here, Raphael, when put Raphael, your email, your phone, what way, put your names, change it. Before you leave, I want every group, right? So here we got it, Alexandra. All right, so.
How do you delete a video on
From where?
YouTube?
On YouTube, you go to the studio.
The video manager.
Yeah, the video manager.
Oh, I got it. And you
You
just
got
click
it.
delete?
You just
Okay.
click delete.
We did a practice where it was just
Great,
us
great.
being embarrassed.
Great. But but you understand, then you can upload that video, you can put that link, right, and you're already started. And then later on you can do it, you can make yourself another channel, you know, like for a certain subject area. Before you leave, I have to make sure that did you guys put it up? Which one are you? What group? Huh? Where are you?
So I think she wants us to do this.
That's all I did. But don't you want to finish this?
We can try. I don't really know.
Okay, and then within the group 2, you got the collaboration. So put the collaboration.
Collaboration.
You need the collaboration in
What do we have to do in the folder?
I think there's so many groups done with this. We're group 3.
You want our phone number too?
Wait a minute. Tell her to come back. She can do that.
Yeah.
Name, I'll put
Alice and Beta.
Sorry, Alice.
You got it?
Yeah, my group's.
You need to have your folders within it.
It's already there.
No.
Group 3, you just checked ours? Yeah. You just said our names.
Right, but then within here, you want to have collaboration software, and just put 2 folders. You did it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we're meeting up on Wednesday, can we just add those in? Okay.
126.
So what's up? So what are you doing now? So what are you doing in terms of trading? And what are you using? And you've been using some software for those?
Yeah, I use a few different software.
What
Kraken, Bittrex.
And are you using any strategies? Are you just guessing on this or what?
Just do a lot of research on some
Okay,
friends in it too, so.
Okay, but you're not doing, okay, you're from Trinidad, where are you from?
Trinidad, yeah.
Trinidad, okay. There's some students from Trinidad.
Yeah,
I've had one,
yeah.
I've had a from Trinidad, a couple from Trinidad. Okay, so you have a Mac or a PC? What do you have? Okay, so you know how to get your virtual machine or get like Windows, Parallels or something, get Windows on your machine?
If you want, we can do
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Did you download?
Okay, good, talk.
No, I don't have the YouTube. I did the YouTube thing on here, so you'll just download the screen thing and
But then I have to log into your YouTube and do it.
No,
You can switch.
I'll send you the link
Okay,
before.
and then we'll,
Like,
you know
I'll
what
text you
we'll
the link
do?
once I start the screen of test.
Well, let's
Well,
do
the
that.
first thing we do in the screen of test is run the
On Wednesday, we'll put you in, and we'll see who's there,
Because
we'll put you
I'll
in
be the
another
unit.
group on Wednesday. Now you know that you've done already,
doing.
you
We
know
are
the homework
screen
assignments
casting
and
us,
everything,
making
and
a
then switch
collaboration.
yourself
So
to
if
the
I
other
make
section,
screen cast,
so you'll be
I have to do the whole YouTube page.
Okay,
So
perfect.
you just
No,
this is
you're gonna be screen of hey. I'm gonna go on YouTube live.
Yeah, you have everything, okay, perfect.
Thank you very much. So I'm gonna do the whole YouTube thing here.
But when you need a screen cast, so we can videotape
I
it.
understand, but I'm gonna show my screen on the YouTube thing. And you're gonna screen cast me showing how to do it through screen sharing.
That you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
That's way
so
too
what's your
complicated.
major?
Why don't we just screen
Finance,
casting
and
one
RUA,
computer,
yeah.
making the YouTube?
Oh, okay, we can do that.
So we only post one video.
Okay.
Let's confirm that we can only post one video and that's good.
And then we'll go back.
Handiwork study?
When do you want to do this?
We can do
Okay,
it
so
tonight.
check to see if you can be.
Or tomorrow. You wanna do it tomorrow?
Study, maybe I'll have you work for me.
Okay.
I thought you were
What?
talking about his number.
See how it is, so
Just put us all on somewhere.
Yeah.
The laptop I before broke, so now I have my iPad.
Actually, I kind of want
Other
to
laptops coming in soon.
Oh,
So,
Okay, at least you can start.
yeah, I'm starting and then I'll
Right.
try to get everything done.
Yeah, you get everything done, you always can even go to the library or something, that's additional work, you know what I mean? Perfect. Okay, good.
So, is it okay if we post one video?
And for the two of us, and then
Yeah.
the description, okay, all right.
And then you got the idea, and then you have the screencasting?
Yeah, well, we wanted to.
What screencasting program?
Screenomatic?
Okay.
We wanted to screencast us making the YouTube.
Yeah, right, that'd be perfect.
So we're gonna have one video that does
Right,
both
right,
things.
right. You know what I would do, and check to see, I would look to see if you can find another screencasting program between now and then, and see if you can find another screencasting program that will also automatically then, see if you can get it to go to YouTube as well.
Well, because once you save the video, you can go
No,
to
but I
the-
know, but
Okay.
save it, but see if it's built in already that will do that.
Okay.
Just check, and check another one besides, what did you find? Screenomatic or what?
We used it, we were in a class in high school called AP Research, and we would use it.
Yeah, so look at some others, since you know that already, try to find another one as well, okay?
And then the quizzes are
We're gonna go, so we're gonna do it in a quiet
Yeah,
area.
right, no, but I'm just saying, now I just wanna make sure that everybody,
Yes.
like you could ask me questions now rather than later. Perfect.
Thank you.
It looks like you're a good team.
Yeah.
Well, and then we'll see if there's other people, we can see, who comes and goes for next week, where we can put, and sometimes later on, you can even combine with other groups for certain projects, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys would like, otherwise, okay. So you wanna help me here, let's turn off the, Alec, can you turn off the phone?
I would never do
What?
that.